Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews. It has been a couple weeks since I did a review, but with that said, I'm going to be covering Andor, which is a Star Wars show. And before we dive into the show itself, I think I should give some background as to when I've covered Star Wars, right? So the last Star Wars thing I covered was Kenobi, and I was up and down with that, and that was a show it's kind of more about nostalgia and that stuff. And then there was Boba Fett, which I didn't cover, which is kind of nostalgia because you had 4 or 5 episodes where it was just Boba Fett or whatever, and then you brought in the Mandalorian for nostalgia and Baby Yoda and the CGI of Luke Skywalker, and then you had the Mandalorian, and then you had Star Wars Visions and all of that. And so I've not really, the thing is with Star Wars is that I've not really had this thing where I've thought everything is just really bad. It feels like Star Wars is this thing that, I've not had as much kind of disdain and just not really cared about Marvel. Because Marvel, I've just kind of, I haven't really liked it recently, and my last review kind of summed that up. But that is just to bring it up to speed with my whole thing about Star Wars. And Andor is a Star Wars show. It is a spin-off to Rogue One, which was a movie that came out in 2016. And that whole thing, I can't remember so much about that. But basically, this show focuses on Cassian Andor, and there's 12 episodes. So you think to yourself, well, this has been going on for a few months. But really, there was 3 episodes. This is one story where Andor has to basically find his sister, I think, something like that. And then after that, you have episode 4, 5, and 6. And then you kind of just have these stories. And so, you have that, right, where you have 3 episodes of that, and then another 3, another 3. And people have said that Andor is a really slow show. But I actually think that it isn't that bad, right? There's people saying, it's just really boring, and it's just not worth watching and that. But it's fine for what it is, and I do actually think that because this show takes itself seriously, it's this mature. It's way more mature than Kenobi and Boba Fett, where it's not using nostalgia and this stuff that and the reason probably why people haven't really watched Andor is because they don't really know much about the guy, because it was just this one character from Rogue One, which is this spin-off in the Star Wars universe and all that stuff. But it isn't. It is the reason, the fact that just takes itself seriously, and it doesn't, it wasn't just nostalgic. It's not trying to be really nostalgic, because that's really tiring. You're just seeing Luke Sky and Mandalorian and all that. It doesn't help anything. So when you try and do something a little bit different, like Andor is doing, where you're gonna just get so serious, and when I mean this show gets serious, right, in the first in episode 1, 2, or 3, right, Andor kills these 2 guards, and you're just what the hell? And there's references to this brothel that Andor goes into. So it's not this really kid-friendly show, which makes this show feel more different to the other stuff. So that's one thing I have to give the show, is that it really takes itself seriously. Now I think also that the acting is really good, and the actors kind of know what they're doing, and they really chose a good cast for this. You have Stellan Skarsgård, who was from Marvel movies, who he's kind of that guy with the Tesseract and stuff. So you had him, and then you had obviously Diego Luna, Cassian Andor, and then you had all this other stuff. So you have really good actors, right? You've got good actors, you've got really mature, which makes the show stand out from any other Star Wars show, and it is definitely the best thing since The Mandalorian, because I love The Mandalorian. But this show takes itself seriously, right? And I will actually dive into what my favourite episodes were and what I thought of basically every episode, because that's kind of a good point to bring up. So the first 3 episodes, I thought they were good, right? It's just building up that story. 4 Yeah, good. 5, good. 6 had a good action where they just, you had this stuff to do, this robbery they went on. And then 7, good. And then 8, good. 9, good. 10, I think 10's a standout. You have that prison episode where Cassian Andor goes to prison for 10 years and stuff like that. And you actually get Andy Serkis as well, which is amazing. And then you had episode 10, 11, and 10, and then 11 and 12. Yeah, you had, so you basically, if I'm being honest, right, there are times when it doesn't, there is action, right, the action is good, but then it's just really relies on the story, and I think maybe that's why people find it boring, is that it's not the lightsabers you're used to, it's just clean cut story, trying to tell a story. So it's just moving around and trying to build things into context. So that's probably why people don't like it. And also because Andor's not a well-known character, and that's kind of just a main point with this show, is that Andor is not a main character of Star Wars, and it has had low ratings as well. Like Andor's had a low rating where people aren't really watching it that often. They're tuning out of it because they don't know who this guy is. And so that's kind of my thoughts on Andor. It's a good show. It's very mature. It kind of knows what it's doing. And so because of that, I'll definitely recommend it. And it was even good, like, even on a website. I watched it on a website and it's still good quality. So yeah, that's my thoughts. And it's just, yeah. I think I might have just said basically what a lot of people have praised Andor for, because, the general consensus around Andor is that, it's either just really, really boring and slow moving, or it's like mature, good acting, and it's a bit different. It's not just nostalgia cookies and, bringing in these older characters, which is getting really boring. So just trying something different is amazing. I'm kind of repeating myself, but that's kind of all I have to say about Andor at this point. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're coming back into the swing of things with these videos again after a little while, so hopefully I should be able to pick up the momentum again. So yeah, bye.